Good morning, everyone. By now, you all know what is LC3, the clay characterization, and everything regarding it. But is LC3 the only solution, or is it a part of a much bigger solution? So let's talk about potential of multi-blended cements. So this presentation includes what are multi-blended cements, clinker substitution, beyond LC3, codal provisions, performance, future aspects, and challenges. So let me just brief you about what are multi-blended cements. Basically, these are the cements prepared by substituting with clinker with more than one SCMs. SCMs, or the supplementary cementitious material, are basically the material which possesses hydraulic properties or pozzolanic properties, or both. Some of the commonly used SCMs are basically fly ash, slag. When these are used in a cement system, they improve the strength and the durability. So let's talk about clinker substitution levels. A lot of work has been going on working towards low clinker cements. And why is it? Because of course it has many benefits, out of which the environmental benefit is a major factor, and overall the lowering of the cost is also a benefit. So what we do is that we use SCMs in order to substitute the clinker factor. But our major concern nowadays is, can we minimize the clinker content and achieve a maximized performance? If yes, how far can we go with that? How far can we go with the clinker substitution without affecting the performance? So before discussing that, let me show you this tree. Basically, this tree represents the whole of multi-blended cements, out of which LC3 is just a part, but there are many other cements to it. Well, you may be thinking that why is there an apple cement? Well, this is because if there is a cement out there in the world that has not been discovered yet, will our codal provisions allow us to work on this cement? That is actually our major concern. So what do actually our codes say? Here you can see the codal provisions of European Code 197 Part 1 and also the Indian Code for the composite cement. Here you can see the limitations on the non-clinker composition, especially with the slag cement. We can really go to larger levels of clinker substitution, but when we go towards other SCMs, the substitution level is fairly low. A similar case can be seen in composite cement code in the Indian standard as well. Minimum clinker content is 45%. Actually, these mixes have been tailored for specific mix. We have to explore a lot of new ideas when we try to develop new clinker cements. So performance analysis is actually required when we make new binder system or new cements in order to gain acceptance. So I have been talking about performance. What does performance actually mean? Is it just strength? Well, strength is an important parameter, especially when we consider the marketing scenario. For market, strength has been always a major concern. However, durability is also important. What can we do? We have to focus on the binder content. Whenever we try to develop new cements, we might face issues like activation or the early age performance. We have to work on that. Not just that, we also have to work on the overall durability, because the long-term durability assessment will help us get a better service life, a better lifespan of the structure. Last but not the least, the environmental health and safety aspects are also some of the fundamental performance parameters that have to be included in order to gain acceptance. So future cements apart from LC3. We all know that the Western countries are more focused on going carbon neutral. They want to reduce the carbon emissions, so they are shutting down the thermal and steel power plants. But is it the same in India? Well, with the shutting down of these steel and thermal power plants in the Western countries, there is going to be a shift in demand. And India has a greater potential to satisfy these needs. a large amount of slag and fly ash is being predicted to be produced in India. We can use these fly ash and slag and combine them with the calcined clay or the limestone to make new cement. We can take advantage of the synergy of these materials to make a better cement. So let's see the scenario in India. India currently produces 334 million tons of cement, out of which 73% is blended cement. However, when I talk about blended cements here, it only includes PPC, that is the fly ash cement, the slag cement and the composite cement, including just fly ash and slag. We haven't discovered other materials like limestone, calcined clay or the combinations of it. In India, majority, like 70% of India's electricity comes from thermal power plants. With the growing population, the need of infrastructure, the rapid urbanization, this is not going to increase, which gives us a huge amount of fly ash that will be available for our future use. Similar scenario can be seen with slag as well. Around 15 to 20 million tons of slag is going to be produced by 2030 in India. But the thing is that once you have all the raw materials and you have developed a new clinker, but can we follow the same thing everywhere? If I'm making a cement in Delhi, can I do the same thing with other place like Mumbai or Bangalore? Well, that depends on various parameters, and the major one is the availability of raw materials. Not all raw materials are available in every region. So we have to make one optimized blend based on the raw materials that are actually available in the local regions. Well, otherwise that will affect the cost. While developing new clinker system, it's not just raw materials. We also have to deal with processing, the quality control, transportation. It will also affect the overall cost. Suppose you got through the above two parameters, but still now regulations and standards are one of the major thing, because standards our standards are mainly focused on the traditional cement. They don't focus on the other new binder system. Our only way is to make performance-based standards that will help us gain acceptance when we make new binder systems. Well, we are going to face technical challenges, which are with the development of new or different binders, it is actually difficult to achieve a consistent performance. So what we have to do is we have to optimize the binder content. We also have to work on the reactivity of the system. We can incorporate ultrafine materials in order to improve the reactivity. Sometimes, especially in calcined clay, you might also know that the water demand increases. So this actually gives rise to a high amount of superplasticizer need. Well, at last, long-term durability has always been a major concern. Long-term durability results are really important in order to assess the service life of a structure. Well, what needs to be done? Of course, we have to invest in research and development, because optimizing the binder content will help us address the challenges regarding strength and durability. We have to study about if we want to add activators or accelerators in the system, in order to study about the reactivity, in order to see its effect on strength and durability. Apart from these, we have to conduct life cycle analysis in order to get in order to evaluate the environmental effects of that particular new binder that we are going to produce. But last but not the least, technology transfer is really important, as it will help us overcome the challenges, and it will also help us accelerate the adoption of the new binder system in the society as well as in the construction sector. Well, I would like to conclude by showing you this. If suppose the apple cement that we saw previously, if it consists of these like 30% fly ash, 20% calcined clay, 20% slag, 5% ultrafine limestone, will our codes allow us to do the cement, allow us to make this cement? Well, this is something that we should think about before moving on to performance-based standards. Thank you.